Going live, you're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Nightingale on the GTX 1650, 1050 Ti, RTX 3050 and 3060. How are you guys doing? Welcome. So, first of all, thanks to Inflexion Games for providing a code of the game. I'm not a big fan of survival games in general, and by survival I mean crafting stuff like Palworld as an example, or Ark Survival Evolved. But this one is UE5, and I was pretty interested when I saw that there's a setting for Lumen GI and you cannot turn it off, so I said, okay, this will perform horrible, but they added an offline mode, which is pretty rare. Developers promise offline modes sometimes, but they delivered on this. They made an offline update, so you can actually play the game by yourself without an internet connection, so that's a big plus in my opinion, although of course you lose on co-op. So here it says server-related functions will be handled on your PC, so higher-end PC or lower quality settings are recommended. This can be accessed via this PC only, so this doesn't go to the cloud. It stays on your local PC. But again, the fact that they added this, huge plus. The only bad thing about this, in my opinion, is that you cannot move this character to the online part, so they cannot be shared. If you play offline, you're forever offline. If you play online, you cannot take your character offline. That's my biggest issue with it. So yeah, let me show you the settings. This is, once again, Unreal Engine 5. You cannot turn off Lumen, but if you put it on performance, I saw some interesting differences. Then on the settings, we got performance to ultra quality, so low, medium, high, and ultra. Textures are on performance because we only have 4 gigs of VRAM. And there is TSR, XeSS, and FSR. It doesn't specify, but seems to be FSR2. And in this game, TSR demolishes visually XeSS and FSR, at least in my opinion. So let's get into it right away. First on the online mode, then I'll show you offline. I don't really like the design of the characters, honestly. Maybe that's because I'm on low settings, I don't know. What up, Apex Ravan? How's it going, man? Welcome. So this is a first-person crafting survival game. You get guns and magic a little bit further. I haven't got to that part, but I got some time to test the performance and actually see if it ran properly. Hiro, ¿qué tal? And I'm usually a big fan of new engine releases. Survival game is thrown in there, like when Ark released in UE4 and it was broken. Well, I waited for some patches on this one, especially offline, as I showed you before. Bueno, bien. Hogwarts Legacy from Wish. Yeah, actually, it feels like a Harry Potter world, but without the license. That's a good point. Yeah, I think it's a little bit exaggerated, though. I think it's a little bit too much. I don't know. It gets closer to the cartoony kind of visual when it comes to the characters, I mean. Because, oh, by the way, I'm connecting to the server right now. Glad to help, Apex. I'm glad you like them. Y Hiro, ¿quién te parece que gana en los partidos estos? ¿Quién es campeón? So yeah, it takes a while to load. I tried this on Steam Deck and ROG Ally as well, just as just to see if they actually worked. And they do, for the most part. But no matter which platform I'm at, it takes forever to load for the first time. Yeah, DX12, UE5, you cannot turn off Lumen, but Lumen doesn't seem to be used for reflections, seems to be used only for global illumination. But yeah, I mean, it takes a while to load. It's waiting for servers, as here. Maybe it's in maintenance. And is new setup tour or room tour coming? The previous one was old. Well, it's a year old, so it's not that old. The difference now is that I have also a ROG Ally and a Steam Deck, and also, guys, good news, I got a Steam Deck OLED. There was a person in my country that had them in stock, and I bought one right away. I have it right now in my room downloading some games, so I'll be adding that to the testing thing and compare it with the LCD one. Okay, we're in. I don't know why it took some time to get to the server. Oh, dang it, it's nighttime. I hate when that happens. Maybe I make a new character, who knows. So, welcome to Nightingale. And for some reason I cannot move. Oh, okay, it's loading stuff. So my biggest issue with the game so far is that it takes forever to load stuff. Of course, I'm playing with a 1650, but if you look here at the variant rain, eventually after maybe a minute, it'll load up the grass. There we go. So that bothers me, but after it loads, you should be fine. By the way, I deleted the drivers and reinstalled them, so I'm compiling the shaders from scratch. But they basically give you a big map. This is a swamp. There's 3 biomes. There is forest, swamp, and I don't remember the other one. And a desert. I selected the swamp because it's easily easily the most demanding when it comes to GPU. There we go. Streaming while summer sale is happening to avoid spending money compulsively. Well, guys, by the way, this game is 20% discounted right now. And well, what to say? It's nighttime at the moment. Maybe, again, I make a new character, so it's daytime. It's kind of bothersome to test this stuff at night. And you also cannot see the shadows that well. So, again, classic survival stuff. But you also got magic. And there's some shader compilation stutter. And honestly, with balanced TSR, edges are actually pretty good. Again, remember, we have Lumen enabled. But one thing that stuck out the most for me, not sure if you noticed these horrible shadows. These are the shadows that are cast on the surface of the water. So the actual shadows look good, but I don't know why the shadows that are cast into the surface of the water look so bad, even on the highest settings. Because the shadows being cast themselves are fine. I don't know what's wrong there. Argentina, Colombia, Uruguay. De cabeza. Sí, Brasil igual estuvo jugando muy mal. The update of Store 3.1 just dropped in some games. Oh yeah, I saw it in Spider-Man. In the both Spider-Man games, also in Ghost of Tsushima. I'm going to do that after I finish with this. But I'm super excited for that. So, anyway, as I was saying, the thing with the Lumen options is that you basically lose the reflections when you are on performance. You have no screen space. As you can see here, this big structure, we have screen space reflections. But if we go at the lowest settings when it comes to Lumen, and I'm getting sick, there's no longer screen space reflections. This is why I recommend balanced. When it comes to Lumen, you cannot turn Lumen off. There's still global illumination, but there's no reflections. So, in my opinion, balanced is the way to go. You got reflections, and if you are a GigaChad and have a better PC, you can put the GI on quality, but it's significantly more expensive. As you can see, the reflections, there's some ray tracing going on there, but it's way more demanding. So my advice, to keep the ray tracing at the minimum with decent visuals. Balanced is fine, textures on performance, TSR on balanced. Yeah, all the Nix sports. Marco Antonio Barra Bermeo, ¿todo bien? So yeah guys, this will be my settings for this card. I wouldn't even think about getting 60s, but let me redo the character because basically it's nighttime and it's super boring to do so. Yeah, Steam sales. No, Steam, no! Yeah, I'm planning on doing actually a video talking about the best battery life games on Steam Deck. Let me show you offline play. The thing with offline play is that some stuff that the server does, it has to be done by your computer, so it's more demanding. But let's see if we can hold 30 FPS. But at night, it doesn't look as good as on daytime. I wish we could change that. Because nighttime, I really hate nighttime in video games, sometimes. Excepting on GTA and Watch Dogs, that there's a big city. Ya te gastaste la beca en ofertas de Steam. No, juegos que no vas a jugar nunca. So, do you guys buy games and then don't play them? So you just have them on your library, but you never even download them. You just buy them. Am I the only one? So yeah, Steam sale. If there's a sale of Persona 5 Royale, we'll get it. That's a good idea. Okay, so I'm doing offline mode, which means basically my PC is the host, so it's going to use more RAM and more resources. And basically my character is not shared across. Really, are you kidding me? Also nighttime? Am I stupid or something? Hang on. Let me build a place to sleep, because this is getting ridiculous. Hold up. Let me build a tent. One thing that I do like about this is that you can auto add everything that you need, not going by one, and I'm getting attacked. Perfect timing. So auto add resources. I don't have them, right? Nope, not yet. Oh, never mind. It's done. It's just a bug, I think. Sticks. I need 2 sticks and 6 plant fibers. Okay, at least now there is shadows, at least. But man, why do I always hate nighttime? You bought your PC 4 days ago, didn't touch it since? No! Yeah, I mean, it always happens. It never doesn't happen. Okay, I think it's becoming daytime, actually. Let me talk to this guy.
Shadows abound. Come, oh, I come. Give me your hands. This but be the gift while I.
Okay. But as you can see, on offline mode, it actually hits mostly low 30s on the same settings instead of like upper 30s. That's because, well, your PC is basically a server instead of something on the cloud. So yeah. Whoa. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. I'm glad that there's an offline mode, but at the same time, you cannot use your character in online mode later. You cannot transfer your character. I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed when it comes to the offline mode, despite being a good thing when it's being added. And it doesn't sync with the cloud unless you're playing online. There's a huge backlog. Can you show the map size? Yeah, of course. It's a huge map, actually. And there is multiple biomes. But they basically give you the classic, okay, let's make a big map on UE5. And there's some structures already built that you cannot access, and you can build stuff. But I'm going to make another character. F that shit. SWO, gotta go! How's it going, man? Now with your gaming laptop, you're going to ignore your consoles? Well, makes sense. I mean, it's probably going to be better. So I'm going to make another character. And again, I don't like the designs of the characters. Kind of creepy, in my opinion. And they take some time to load the textures. But we're on 4 gigs of VRAM, so I cannot complain, really. So yeah, It's a creepy vibe. You can also be 70 years old and your face basically melts. You can also be 16 if you want to, for some reason. I'm going to be 70 years old. You can also choose your lineage. I'm going to randomly pick them. And yeah, whatever, let's continue. Difficulty, there we go. So you can start from the tutorial that is a small island, go directly to the forest, go directly to the desert, or go directly to the swamp. So the swamp, I would say, the swamp and the forest are the most demanding, because the swamp has more reflections and all that. But there's 3 biomes, basically, and you can go between them. Let's call her Leon. Face melting technology. Hey, augmented realism. It's been a while. Do you think that full release will be out in 2025? I don't know. I think it still needs a lot of time to improve. There's a lot of things that looked incomplete, but it's early access. I think we're on version 0 point something, so maybe at the end of 2025, I guess. I'm not sure if they specified a date exactly, but what I'm seeing so far is that the game uses a lot of RAM, uses a lot of VRAM. You cannot turn off GI completely, which, I mean, it's okay, it's a UE5 game. But on the lowest setting, it doesn't look like a potato. That's what I'm trying to say. Are you planning to test Celaco? Celaco. Oh, you mean the boomer shooter? Yeah, I want to, but I also want to do a video covering the new FSR and the new XESS in all the Insomniac, in all the Nixa sports. So we'll see. Maybe in the future. There's so much stuff. So great to see you again. Yeah, it's been a while. I wanted to stream something. What a better thing to do than a UE5 game. Okay. So again, the thing that bothers me, that when you are getting to the game, not only the first time, it takes some time to spawn all the foliage, because this game has lots of foliage, and since we only have 4 gigs of VRAM, well, you can see the ground. Doesn't like that too much. So let's let it load the assets for a few seconds. Horizon Forbidden West and fully supports. Oh yeah, FSR 3.1. Yeah, and the frame generation that is independent from the upscaler. So yeah, I'm planning on playing as many things that I can, but now that I got a deck OLED, there we go. The grass, it showed up. So as you can see, that's some of the things that bother me. Also, since we're playing on balance to lumen, the shadows get pixelated because there's very few rays being cast. So the global illumination is there, but it has some issues when it comes to that. Again, I'm saying this on a 4GB GPU that is pretty old at this point. So, I mean, I'm playing on balanced settings, which is medium, looks very similar to low, and it actually looks like a UE5 game, despite playing like this. So yeah, the only thing that I lowered was textures, but I think we should lower some other stuff, especially foliage. There's a lot of it, and effects, foliage and effects, and hopefully the game doesn't crash. Oh great. And there's some shader compilation as well. That's why I'm saying still needs some work. Well, let's let them kill me. Come on. I double dare you, Pumbaa. Kill me. There we go. Give up. Many games to try. A new GPU in November 2025. Yes, a year and a half away. So again, as I was saying, the shading, when you're playing on balanced lumen, has some issues when it comes to the trees, especially. And also we're upscaling at the same time, so even less rays. Although if you wait out a little bit, it stabilizes, because again, the rays are already calculated. So lumen is absolutely mandatory. But it's not like in, what's the name of this other game? Immortals of Avium, that even at the lowest settings, the game just run horribly. This actually, I think they did a good job balancing visuals when you lower the settings. But it's still pretty demanding. You're looking at an early access UE5 survival game. Although it runs better than Ark, which is a positive if it's a survival game in UE5. Again, what bothers me is that the grass doesn't fully render very quickly, even in my higher end PC. That seems to be a server-side issue, I'm guessing. Even if you play on your PC being the local server. So if you like survival games, this one works pretty well. I like that it's pretty easy to build things.
No pearly gates for you, just... Of course. How?
But it also looks like getting 60s is very difficult. Unless you have an RTX card, which makes complete sense. Jesus, the wars. They're destroying me. So yeah, it's still pretty early, I would say. Also, the RAM usage is around the 14 gigabyte mark. But let me collect more stuff. I need to build things. Let me build a cooking station. Okay. The classic, just build a bench table. Again, I'm not a fan of survival games, but I always like testing the UE5 ones, just to see how broken they can be.
Give me your hand.
This one, at least on lowest settings, doesn't look like a potato UE4 game. ¿De qué se trata este juego? Bueno, es un juego survival, de construir cosas, básicamente hacer tu base y tratar de sobrevivir. Y hay magia y armas, pero no llegué a esa parte todavía. Y es Unreal Engine 5, pero no podemos desactivar el Ray Tracing. So, let me get some more stuff. But once it finishes loading the grass, it actually looks pretty good. But that's the thing, I wish there was a way to make the visuals not use lumen. But that's not an option, unfortunately. So on this card, while the game works, I wouldn't recommend you play it. Just because of this. I mean, look at the shading due to the low amount of rays. I mean, this looks bad. This is what bothers me. I wish there was an alternative like SSAO. Because if you put it on performance, the lumen... Let me look at the ground first. I mean, it's even using even less rays, so they're flickering even more. And this is because we're at a pretty low resolution as well. So while you can lower the ray tracing, the lumen, quite a bit, I don't think it looks good on performance. And on performance you also lose the screen space reflections. So, despite what might look weird, I think balanced is the way to go. But again, this... I'm suffering with this, visually speaking. So on this card, I wouldn't really play it, mostly due to the VRAM limitation. I think that's the biggest thing. And also that the ray tracing is basically mandatory, the GI. So you get the trees looking weird. And there's a lot of foliage, so yeah. That's my main issue with it. But I like the concept of like Harry Potter without a license. But I cannot accept that flickering in the trees. Even if I'm playing on medium settings. I don't know, it kind of defeats the purpose. Due to the, I mean, the grass is so thin that it requires more rays to look good. So let's try to make it look better. There's also an ultra performance mode that basically turns off everything. We're going to try that. And well, in the ultra performance mode, you can actually get 60s, it seems. But you lose basically all the UE5 stuff from it. I'm not sure if the grass is loaded yet though. But the game looks obviously significantly worse. Oh, never mind, it doesn't hit 60s. Actually, I think it still does have some lumen going for it, actually. But the grass didn't load. Not sure if it didn't load or they removed it entirely. Shadows impacts the FPS hard. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Shadows is usually the most intensive. But this game just requires lumen. Yeah, when I'm seeing these shadows on these sticks, it's clear they are ray trace shadows. Because they're very small objects. If they were normal shadow maps, these wouldn't have noticeable shadows. Yeah, I think grass on ultra performance is basically gone. Which is okay, it makes sense. That's why it's called ultra performance. Oh, even the TSR is ultra performance. I thought it was on quality. Interesting. Okay, let's put it on performance and the TSR on performance as well. Let's be super aggressive. Let's keep lumen on performance mode as well. There we go. Plus TSR performance. It's not buffering from me. I have a live feed, but let me guys know. It says Riven Remake. I never heard about it. Okay, so as you can see, if I'm playing on performance mode, there's more pop-in with the grass. But actually, I think the shading... No, the shading is still quite flickery. Yeah, I think it depends on the time of day, actually. Pretty interesting. When the sun was in certain angles, it was like a more aggressive flickering on the trees. But hey, this is supposed to be low settings. And I see why. You can see the pop-in. So yeah, I call it playable, considering it's a 1650, but I wish there was an alternative to Lumen. But it's a UE5 game. I'm guessing they built it around that effect. So what I'm doing now is like a balance mode. Let's keep shadows on the lowest, textures on the lowest, view distance on balanced, and let's keep it like that. So let's call this low-ish settings. Then the lumen will be unbalanced, just because if we turn that off, it's basically no screen space reflections, and it looks much worse, honestly. I don't think it's worth without balanced lumen. Alright. You don't have money for 4070? Yeah, I mean, it's expensive. Alright. So at this time of day, when the sun is, yeah, maybe 11 AM. In the game, I mean. The trees flicker less, so if it's a very steep angle, closer to nighttime or when it's becoming sunny, basically, it flickers more when it comes to foliage. It still flickers a bit, but not as aggressively as before. And you get screen space reflections in bodies of water. So this is what I would do. Riven Remake is a UE5 game with amazing graphics. Okay. I'll write it down. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that. So draw distance for the foliage is pretty low. It takes some time to load lots of the grass patches. Okay, I have to, yeah, there we go. There they loaded. But again, I'm playing on a 4GB GPU. So I'm not sure if I'm being realistic here. This card doesn't even support ray tracing on the hardware. Points. Yeah, the textures are not loading properly either. So yeah, if I had only a 1650 and I had this game, I will play basically on a mix of performance and balanced. But you got a very bad case of flickering on trees, especially with indirect lighting. You build an 8K gaming PC after you start working. Yeah, when I started working and doing YouTube at the same time, I was able to afford GPUs and all that stuff. But it all depends. If you're living on your own, man, good luck. You gotta survive out there. So anyway. Yeah, textures don't load properly on this card so far. Okay, he's gone. Reduced to atoms. Let me eat some mushrooms so I can feel better. And some berries. Oh no, his friends are back. Oh well. So I'll die and show you the graphic settings. But this is basically, okay, build stuff and try to survive and go to different biomes. It reminds me a lot of the forest actually, but with magic. Alright. So on the settings, 1080p, 900p, something like that. Lumen GI unbalanced, so you actually have screen space reflections. It will look pretty flickery though on when it comes to the lighting on the trees. Many of these on performance, anti-aliasing unbalanced, post-processing unbalanced, view distance unbalanced, and TSR unbalanced. Looks much better than XeSS and FSR. But again, if you have a 4GB card like this one that doesn't support ray tracing on the hardware, I wouldn't really play this game. At least not right now. It's not ready. Oh, you have some inheritance? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, considering it's a UE5 game super early, I was expecting way worse performance. I was expecting like lowest settings, performance FSR, or even 900p being necessary. So in that regard, it's acceptable. But it has some issues. Whoa, it's super dark. Hang on. There we go. Now you can see. Sorry about that, guys. On the 1050 Ti, I will be super quick. I don't know if the game will launch. Probably yes. But we're doing 720 on performance mode. I'm not even going to try tweaking it. I think it will be a waste of time. So yeah. Performance won't be improved. It's almost fixed. Okay. I haven't played it on release, but I'm happy that they listen to the community and added an offline mode. Even if it's not 100% perfect, just the fact that they updated that makes me happy. So maybe they'll listen, but if Lumen has to be there, it's going to be very difficult for most PCs, which makes sense. It's UE5. I mean, come on. Performance. Let's call it low. Lumen on... Let's put it on low as well. TSR quality at 720. I think that would be best for the 1050 Ti. So if it was bad performing a moment ago, now it will be even worse. History repeats? Yeah, definitely. Every time a new engine releases, there's multiple early access survival games. Okay. So let's try that again. Selling your kids is an honest way to generate income. Is the best way, I would say. Highly recommended. A friend told me, of course. Allegedly. It's Immortals of Avium all over again. That's the good thing that I had, the best takeaway from this. It's actually better on the performance side than Immortals of Avium. Because Immortals of Avium just runs like absolute garbage. I mean, it runs worse than this game, and on the lowest settings, it looks horrible. So that game is a bad use of UE5, in my opinion. Okay, we put everything on performance, except in anti-aliasing, just because of the upscaling. And just for the fun, let's put Lumen on medium. Just for the memes. Let's see if we can get it to work properly. And yeah, let's use Leon, my old lady character. Tab 10, that's a little bit illegal, I would say. A little bit, just a tiny bit. Do you think Crysis 4 will run on 1650 on lowest 1080p? I don't think so. Crysis 4, I mean, I remember, I think last year they were hiring developers for it, so it's pretty early. Okay, it actually runs at over 30. Although, again, the grass will take some time to load. Oh, and it's raining. And let me build something. Okay, I need rocks and some blocks. And I like that I can actually... There we go. I can actually mark what I need to build this. So I need rocks and a stone block. I don't know where to get the stone block, but... Oh, I need to build a pick as well. Oh, I need to build everything. I forgot. Okay, rocks. Okay, the grass is loaded. And as you can see, as I was talking about before, the shading being GI. Here we're at below 720p with upscaling. And, well, as you can see, the flickering on the trees is even worse than before, and on the foliage. And again, that makes sense. There's less rays from the ray tracing being cast. And the more foliage that are loading quickly, the GPU basically is dying. It's saying, please, Santiago, stop. But it works. Would I play it on this card? No. I wouldn't. So yeah, on this card, I wouldn't play it. I mean, it works, don't get me wrong. It's pretty impressive that the card even runs the game the way it does. But I wouldn't really bother playing this on this card. I haven't even checked the minimum requirements yet. My bad. I've been playing this on Steam Deck, actually. Which sounds ridiculous, but it actually runs better than this on the Steam Deck. It's more stable. Yeah, but visually this makes no sense. Because the resolution directly impacts the amount of rays that Lumen is basically on the ray tracing on the GI. The amount of rays that is using, the less rays that is... I mean, per pixel is using less rays, so there is a lot more of this weird aliasing on the plants. Which again, makes complete sense. The less rays, the worse the resolve will be when it comes to shading. So yeah, it works on the 1050 Ti with a low setting 720p and medium lumen with TSR quality, but it's below 720, and due to the low amount of rays, it looks horrible on this card. You will die before you lower your resolution from 1080p. Oh man, I have bad news for you. It depends on which system you have, of course. If you have a capable system, that's a good thing to say, but... It's so common to drop below 1080p nowadays. It's also the Steam Summer Sale. But I mean, the game, when you actually have a decent resolution, looks pretty good. Let me see the requirements super quickly. I mean, yeah, it looks way better when you actually have a decent computer. Okay, there we go. Minimum GTX 1060. Okay, something like a 1650, but the 1060 has 6 gigs of VRAM. The 580 gonna have like 8 gigs, so it makes sense. That's basically what we saw for 1080p balanced upscaling. And minimum recommended requirements is at 2060 Super. So yeah, it should be like 10 frames ahead the 3050 that we're going to try right now. So we're closer to the recommended requirements on this one. Considering it's UE5, these requirements are pretty low actually. Interesting. I thought these, the minimum especially, and the CPU, were going to be much higher. These are pretty decent minimum requirements actually for a UE5 game. Cool. The thing is, on below 720p, obviously, it looks horrible. Okay. Let's swap. UE6 will have us gaming in 480p, 480p minimum. Rest in pepperonis 1050 Ti. Yeah, although I was impressed that it hit 30 FPS. I thought it wasn't going to get there by any means imaginable. Yeah, F's in the chat for the 1050 Ti. Playing games on native res in 2024? Nah, impossible. I mean, nowadays upscalers look pretty good. Sometimes developers mess up with upscalers, but they're getting way better. I mean, I remember being one of the first to recommend FSR1 when it was first released. What the hell, Windows 11? And FSR1 doesn't look great. I mean, it's a very basic upscaler, but at the time when it released, there was nothing like it. So I thought it was a great thing. Whoa, no, do not exit Steam. Playing with upscalers is better than playing with forced TAA. I agree. Man, TAA sometimes. I like that some games now still allow you to disable TAA. They're the minority. But talking about upscalers, as you can see, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, all those Nix Sports now have FSR 3.1, FrameGen, and XeSS 1.3. So we're going to check that out later. Maybe Hito. Maybe in this UE5 game might happen. What I noticed the most, for example, on a Steam Deck, was that the game actually was CPU bound, but a Steam Deck is 4 cores, 8 threads. So let's do quality settings, which would be high settings. And there's DLSS, thank you. I'm not even going to try. Actually, let's try DLAA. So this will be native. And there's FrameGen for the 40 series cards. Interesting. Hopefully we get decent performance. So DLAA, so it's basically native resolution. High settings 1080p. And it should look way better now. Let's find out. Before that though, let's enable the FPS scanner. Let's pretend that we're measuring performance. You try FSR 3.1, looks bad. Oh, that sucks, man. What about XeSS? You prefer having jaggies than playing with TAA? I'm kind of the opposite personally. The opposite in a way that I don't like shimmering at all. because I played games all my life with lots of shimmering. So personally, I do not mind, but if I have a computer that can make the game sharp, I want to be able to disable DLAA. Oh my god, not the wolves. Okay, so the VRAM usage is pretty high, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, we're ray tracing over here. I think I'm going to start on the tutorial, maybe. But I want the grass to load first. Come on. Also, I'm not upscaling, so we might be able to get 60s with some small tweaks. But I'm waiting for the grass to load. Jagged is better than ghosting. Well, yeah, in that case, it doesn't mean blurry. Blurry is not the same as ghosting. So yeah, ghosting is a no-go. Yeah, I mean, motion blur is okay most of the time if you are targeting 30 FPS. Come on, grass. Jesus Christ. Grass, show up. In the meantime, you know what this reminds me of? The grass not loading fast. Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 took forever to load foliage. There's no sound. Let me check. Yeah, you're right. There's no sound. Thanks for the heads up. Oh, Windows. Yeah, I don't hear any. Oh, there we go. There we go. Thanks, man. Okay, so now the game looks significantly better. I mean, yeah, DLAA just fixes visuals. And see what I was talking about lumen. On quality, look at the small, even the small stuff as shadows. Although, even on the highest settings, I tried it on my higher end PC, this still looks very pixelated on the smaller things. But I like that the grass actually casts shadows. That's pretty cool. Although the draw distance of the lumen options is pretty limited. Alright, let me see my inventory. I do have stuff. I'm going to make tools because I cannot do anything. I can now cut down trees. Also, there is shader compilation stutter, as you can see there. And the tree there had a very low frame rate when it comes to physics. Maybe it's a server side thing. Yeah, look at this. There we go. So it's trying its best. Yeah, I can see the shadow of that little rock. Oh my god. Yeah, that's basically global illumination and lumen in a nutshell. Oh look, I can see the small shadows. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's 100% necessary though. It's a nice detail, but I don't think it's 100% needed. Although, right now, seeing this, I think we're better off with quality DLSS. Yeah, there we go. So we don't drop below 30. And the edges actually look pretty good with DLSS on quality. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see ghosting on the trees there. So DLSS quality. Alex Battaglia ran to the background. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Digital Foundry in the background. It's necessary. We need it in every game. It's like most people, motion blur off. Digital Foundry, no, what are you talking about? You need motion blur. I mean, in some games motion blur looks good, but most of the time it doesn't look great. The stamina. There we go. Look at that. I got new wood. Oh, I need to make a pick, of course. Pickaxe. So yeah, it's a hood classic when it comes to survival games. You grab Unreal Engine and you make a survival game, but it's an early access. But there are some good stories from stuff like that, like, well, The Forest is a big one. I think it was a Unity game, that one. When I first played it, it was horrible. Now it's a great game. I'm weighted down by my inventory. Oh, I have like 6 trees in my inventory. Okay. Let's try to make something. Do I have everything I need for this? Auto add resources, there we go. I'm understanding now. Okay, interesting. This avoids creatures from getting there. But guys, it looks significantly better than on the other cards, obviously.
Your
But
tenacity,
still, the difference between quality and balanced, at least when it comes to the shadows and the GI, is huge. It looks way better. So if you don't have like a 3050, 3060, even a 2060, I wouldn't even bother playing this. It looks so much better. But they need to improve that shader compilation stutter. But if you don't have like an RTX capable card or something like that, I wouldn't even play this. The visual difference is just too big. It becomes distracting. No, I never tried Indian food. I think it's pretty spicy, right? So yeah, I mean, also you have, I'm not sure if it's actual 100% ray tracing, but for the models, when you're on quality lumen, they actually have ray trace reflections, as you can see there. So if you put lumen on balance, you lose those ray traced reflections there, but you keep screen space reflections. But for transparencies, there's a very little. Yeah, you can see there. Those are not cube maps. That's actually geometric ray tracing, apparently. But it's combined with screen space reflections. So if I disable those ray trace reflections by going into lumen and putting it on balanced, it looks way worse, but it runs a lot better. Lumen balanced. So in my opinion, lumen should be on at least balanced, but the draw distance of the reflections and the fact that now they are only screen space, in my opinion, kills the visuals. It looks so much better with quality lumen. But again, this is a UE5 game. Considering it's a UE5 game and it's on early access, I think performance is pretty decent. But I would personally push the visuals to quality just because it looks significantly better, especially when it comes to reflections. The only thing that doesn't look good, in my opinion, are those shadows of the trees in the surface of the water. I don't know why, but even on the highest settings, these horrible shadows that are on the surface of the water happen, but these shadows on the ground itself look fine. The thing is, when they are like on the surface of the water, so you actually have shadows at the top of the water and in the ground, these are the shadows that look bad, even on the highest settings. The rest of the shadows are fine. So I don't know what's going on there. But this looks horrible. I mean, either remove the shadows on the surface of the water or improve them somehow, because these look horrible. So yeah. Again, only happens in the surface of the water when looking at the sun's reflection. Yeah, it even affects the terrain, as you can see, very pixelated shadows. And I'm playing on quality. But again, on the highest settings, it improves, but very little. But I mean, yeah. One thing that I'm noticing though, also lumen on balance affects the real-time lighting from the sun. Interesting. But as you can see, even on the... Let's put the lumen on the highest. Even lumen on the highest doesn't fix this. Shadows on the highest doesn't fix this either. Let's put it on the highest settings. Ultra settings. On the highest settings, those shadows are still pixelated. The ones that are on the surface of the water. But look at the difference of playing on balanced lumen and on the highest settings lumen. I mean, shading is significantly better. There's way more rays being traced, to say it in some way, for the global illumination. But the checkerboarded shadows on the surface of the water are hilarious, because the rest of the shadows look good. But again, I'm pretty happy with the performance. Especially... Oh, I cannot move because I have 100 trees on my back. Hang on. Let me... Now I can actually move. So as I was saying, considering it's UE5 and it uses lumen and you cannot turn it off completely, I think it performs pretty well. I think they actually made an effort. I don't know what's that thing into the distance. Is that unloaded, or is it actually built like that? So yeah, again, this game I will play it on quality settings, just because of the visual difference. I mean, lumen looks bad below quality settings, in my opinion. The difference is just too big. But of course it affects performance. So what is this? Okay, this is some structure that is floating in the air. It's fine, there's magic in this world, so I get it. I'm guessing if this is not intended, it was probably this colliding with the tree. That's pretty funny. So yeah, I wouldn't even bother with anything below quality. Ultra quality looks nice, but I think quality is good enough. Let's see the boost in performance from 36 to 44. But I'm seeing, yeah, the missing shadows on this rock as an example. If you put it on ultra quality, let's see that rock again. Never mind. The shadows are still missing there. I don't know what I saw. So in my opinion, quality looks good enough. Just keep everything on quality. Textures, you can max them out if you want to. And put DLSS on quality at 1080p. T-posing architecture, literally. So again, quality I think is the way to go. DLSS quality, lumen quality. And you get pretty decent shading. The trees are not flickering like on the 1650. And I mean, it actually looks dark. Like it should. So global illumination actually works very well. It's pretty convincing. And yeah, we're not playing at 60 FPS, but it's Unreal Engine 5 with lumen, so... You can go below this setting, but I think it doesn't look good enough. Too many graphical sacrifices. So go for balance if you want, but the trees flicker and the reflections are absolute garbage in comparison to high. Hey, Megaloto H something in Russian. How's it going, man? You know the world details, graphics actually looks very good. Yeah, I mean, visually, I think they did a great job. The thing is, when you go below the quality setting, the real-time GI is just not good enough on balanced. That's why when you play on quality, it affects performance so much. It's because it's actually doing a decent ray tracing job. And considering this is not like, I don't know, Call of Duty, a first-person shooter, fast-paced thing, it's more like The Forest in that way. Oh, hang on, there's an enemy. Yeah, it's more like The Forest in that regard. I don't think it's a big deal to be below 60, but you can always lower the resolution with DLSS. Just don't go to balanced. Don't waste your time with balanced visuals. Go for quality, otherwise the game looks horrible, especially at nighttime. Another one. Okay. Let me build something so they don't bother me. Auto add resources, thank you. Every survival game should have that feature. Alright. BDSM demons, literally. I think the law of diminishing returns is more prevalent now than ever. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, don't go below quality. In my opinion, it's a waste of time, especially when it comes to lumen. Go either quality or ultra quality. Let's try... Let me see if I can get 60s by forcing a very low resolution. Well, I think we actually can. We just need more GPU power, actually. Interesting. So just for the memes, I put DLSS Ultra Performance. Performance. And now we are still GPU bound. Of course, the resolution is stupidly low. I'm just trying to see if 60s is actually possible. I'm guessing here the 3050 is just not good enough. And at this resolution, the ray tracing basically breaks. There is flickering on trees, flickering on lighting. And let's build a weapon before I die. I can make a firearm. What? Okay. I need a wood bundle and straps. Yeah, sure. I use a box of straps. Drop the knife! So personally, in a game like this, I wouldn't, on this card, I wouldn't target 60 just because I'd rather have the eye candy on this one. It just looks horrible in balanced mode. The shimmering with FSR 3.1. Oh, you're talking about something else? Okay, that's alright. So you can get 60s, yes. You can actually do it by putting lumen on balanced instead of doing this stupid thing that I'm doing here. But I don't think it's worth lowering the GI so much. It destroys the visuals of the game. I think this is quality DLSS, right? No, it's balanced. Let's put it on quality. Let's go back to balanced. But again, already, I mean, look at the shading on the trees with balanced lumen. It makes no sense to put it on balanced. I think also the resolution drop doesn't help in this case. But just look at the flickering on the trees. Let me see what happens if I increase the lumen. Yeah. It's literally night and day difference. I mean, it's actually nighttime now. But with balanced lumen, Oh my god. Yeah, balanced lumen makes no sense at all. It looks bad. Yeah. To me, it doesn't make sense. Too flickery on balanced lumen. So lumen, no matter what, if you have a capable computer, put it on quality. If you want 60 FPS, fine, put it on balance, enjoy the flickering. I'd rather have stable visuals. And I don't know what this is. Hi there! Okay, I'm discovering things that I never seen in the game. I played 2 hours of it before the stream. Oops. Really? Okay, fine. You could currently use of an Activision or the best AAA games companies in terms of optimizing their games. Give me an example, apart from Call of Duty 2019 and Warzone. But guys, this game looks pretty nice. Unless you lower the Lumen GI to balanced. Never do it, okay? Please trust me on this one. The thing maybe that I would put on balance is shadows, shading, post-process, maybe effects. Foliage, let's keep it the same. And let's see if with this we can hit closer to 60. I don't think so, but... no, the biggest difference is lumen, obviously. So yeah, my advice is go into the options, stay on 1080p, go to quality preset, put it on quality, go to the textures, put them on ultra quality, and go to DLSS and put it on quality. This will give you at worst 30 FPS, at best 45 FPS. And the game actually looks pretty good. Although, I should wait for daytime. Let me make a bed or something. Oh, okay, there's a lot of stuff. New code requires only 960 minimum. Well, yeah, it's the same engine as a million years ago. That makes complete sense. I mean, yeah, Call of Duty runs fine. It has to. I mean, it's a rest block. You cannot rest due to environmental conditions. Okay, let me make a roof or something. But I mean, Call of Duty looks nice and all, but I mean... Hold up, I'm distracted. I was trying to make a tent. So as I was saying, Call of Duty has to run well because it's a fast-paced shooter, 60 FPS. Okay, long rest. There we go. I learned something. I have no idea about that browser thing. But you mean translate the text or my voice in real time? If it's my voice in real time, it's insane. And it's funny that they allow me to place the tent going through this thing. Well, I'm not a QA tester for nothing. That's alright. New Assassin's Creed requires only 1060. Awesome. Well, this game actually, the 1060 is a minimum requirement as well. Now he's hiding. Screw you. You don't scare me no more. So yeah, my opinion here is if you have to go below quality lumen, you're screwed. It'll look horrible. Just flickery shading all over the place. Okay. See, this sums up perfectly what my issue with the game. See the shadow here being cast onto the sand. If it's cast in the surface of the water, it's like an 8-bit cartoon. The shadow, I mean. But when it's cast on the ground, it's fine. It's only when the shadow is being cast into a transparent material, in this case water. He pushed me into the water. That the shadows look bad when they're being cast into a transparent surface. So shadows look good unless they are over a transparent surface. Yeah, demons are up to something, but they don't scare me no more. See? Easy. Gone forever. And again, since we're using Lumen, the small details have shadows. Like the grass and all that. Although on the smaller things, I think we need to be on a higher quality Lumen. This is Lumen quality actually. My bad. So do not drop below quality on Lumen. It looks bad. Just one more time. Just looking at the trees and the ground, you can see that horrible shimmering. Stop bothering me! These guys are the worst. I think I'd rather fight the demons than the boars. So yeah, as I was saying, Balanced Lumen looks bad. Don't do it. If you need to do it, don't play the game. I mean, look at the difference when I put it on quality. Before they kill me, look at it. It doesn't shimmer no more. So, to sum up, Lumen below quality, bad. Lumen above quality, or quality, good. Yeah, far better than Arc when it comes to performance and optimization. Definitely. But Arc is basically, okay guys, let's drop some stuff into Unreal Engine 5, turn on every advanced feature, and let's go. Just upgrade your computer. And also render those trees that are 3 kilometers away. I need to see the leaves on every tree. That's basically how they make Arc. I remember the first time I played Arc on Unreal Engine 4, I could see the leaves of the trees at the other point of the island. It was stupid. Stupidly unoptimized. It made no sense. So yeah, at least here they are actually making an attempt to make the game look good and perform well. But just don't go below quality Lumen and you'll be good to go. So yeah, let's swap to the 3060 now. For the 3050, in my opinion, 1080p, everything on quality, textures on ultra quality, quality DLSS, and if you want 60 FPS, put Lumen on balance, but it will look significantly worse. It just kills the visuals. AC Mirage was consuming up to 7 GB of VRAM on 1080p. 8 GB of VRAM would be more than enough for AC shadows. Yeah, 8 GB of VRAM should be sufficient. And Ubisoft is probably using the same engine as Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so it wouldn't be a surprise. Alright, 3060. This one should be good. Wonder how Arc 2 is going to run. It won't. It won't run. This is elevator music, actually. Maybe Postal 2 had it. It's royalty-free music. Welcome back. We're now on the 3060. I'm guessing here we can just push it to ultra quality. On DLSS, I'll put it on quality just because in this game it actually looks pretty good. And I want to try and get 60s somehow. Maybe we need to lower the lumen to quality instead of having it on ultra quality, but that's okay. That NTX fan sounds quiet enough. Yeah, I mean, it's just a case fan, nothing special. It came with a case, and I just put it there for the memes because there's a very tiny hole that takes air from that case. Let's try 4K Ultra on GT 1030. I don't have the GT 1030 no more, unfortunately. But it would have been fun. Also, guys, just for the memes, do you want me to try this on Steam Deck? I've been playing it on Steam Deck, but I had to lower obviously I had to lower the glow illumination. Okay, let's see. Let's see how fast grass loads in this section. Oh, I didn't even tweak the game yet. Ultra quality and DLSS on quality. There we go. Okay. So on the highest settings, with quality DLSS, we're in the 40s. That looks good. Let me very quickly check quality lumen. I know it's almost the same on quality. So let's just keep it up. Actually, let me try something very quickly. Oh, okay. Okay. I think I figured it out. New NVIDIA driver is out. Alright. Do you know what game is it optimized for? Yeah, quality I think is the best so far. Quality preset, DLSS quality, lumen quality. So augmented realism, what games have been improved or fixed with that driver? Because I try to always have the latest. This is Last of Us Part 1 VRAM error bug. Okay. Black Myth Wukong, of course. Obviously. I'm playing a survival UE5 game. Wukong is another UE5 game. So definitely. But it releases in a couple months. It's still pretty far away. Although I'm happy it finally has a release date. What the? Okay. I broke a pot and I got pieces of trees. I got logs inside a pot. Reduce 2 atoms. So yeah, definitely. Okay, I can see the shadow distance there. What the hell? Oh yeah, there's actually some of the demon enemies that have bombs strapped to them. So they kill you right away. PT3 is a dead game, I think. Anyone plays it? I've been playing a little bit of it because they included a new progression system. That now it actually increases your XP for playing the game, playing missions, instead of doing challenges, which was very stupid. but it still requires online to play. So even if you're bored of Payday 2, play Crime Boss Rocky City. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's, in my opinion, more fun and more content complete than Payday 3. I've been playing a lot of Crime Boss Rocky City. It's pretty funny, actually, that game. But don't expect any masterpiece. It's a $20 game. That one. Whoops. Okay, respawn here. I need to cook. Jesse, let's cook. Cooking station. I like this option, autofill. Not sure if every single game does that. But it's pretty fast when it comes to building stuff. Talos Principle 2 also got FSR 3.1 frame gen. It has a crashing issue. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, then maybe I won't touch the driver for now. Not on the middle of the stream. But for the next stream I'll have the latest one. I promise. Thanks for the heads up, by the way. And for some reason my character is not hungry. But I'm still eating. A new Noctua cooler cost 150 freedom tokens. Holy hell, that's expensive. For a single fan. How many degrees did you got with your new fan? 2.5 degrees less and 1 less decibel. Oh my god, that's impressive. But I'm guessing somebody will buy it. That's why it exists. You had 3090 before? Yeah, I did. I sold it to a friend because I lost my job at that time. I didn't even get laid off. Exactly. I was just let go. So I sold it. Then everything got better and I got a 4070 Ti because the 3090s were super inflated in price. And the 4070 Ti was actually at a good price at that point. And it ran very similar to the 3090, so yeah. I missed the 24 GB of VRAM actually. No, debería estar bien, José. Sí, no deberías tener problemas con eso. Debería andar bien el juego. Si me estás hablando en general y no solo de este juego, sí, no problem. Buena gráfica, by the way. Okay, they cannot find me here. Perfection. Okay, while he hits the air, I'm going to try 1440p. But personally, in this game... Oh, he was breaking my tent. Okay. It was very freaking smart. I thought he was just hitting the air. Stop that! Jesus Christ, man. And thanks for the meat. Let me make a shelter again and we try 1440p. But as I was saying, play on the quality setting with ultra quality textures. You should be between 50 and 60 depending on what's going on. And you had very good visuals. Also quality DLSS. Looks better than native, in my opinion, unless you use DLAA. But if you play with no upscaling, the game looks a little bit... How to say it? Blurry. It's like that TAA effect. With DLAA, it's completely gone. With quality DLSS, it actually looks better, in my opinion. So let me make a tent very quickly. Well, actually, yeah, stick tent. Let's put it through that. Perfection. My shrine is right under. But if you want more performance, you can make a mistake and put Lumen on balanced. Well, don't do it. Just look at this stuff. Lumen on balance runs better, but it looks like absolute dog shit. I mean, look at that tree shading. It's like that meme of the rankings. The Rock would say, "Is the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever seen." So yeah, well, it works as soon as you move around. It takes forever to update the shading on the foliage. So in my opinion, don't do this. Just put it on quality. Has more rays, and the game actually looks good with this one. But it affects performance, obviously. The inflation thing getting better in Argentina. I'm not sure. But it's not good. Still not good. They're trying though. But usually the issue in Argentina is the government, unfortunately. Like most third world countries, the government is a problem. Anyway, so keep it like this, in my opinion, on 1080p. Let's do 1440p. Unfortunately, there's no full screen options like on many UE5 games. So we're going to have to go to the desktop, go to display, and check a different resolution, in this case 1440p. So let's put the scaling at 100% and at 120. Okay, there we go. Alright, time for 1440p. I'm guessing in this case I'm doing balanced DLSS, but let's keep it like this with these visuals, because anything below these options looks horrible in this game. Okay, 1440p. Again, no full screen. For whatever reason, many UE5 games do that. Quality preset with ultra quality textures, DLSS quality. We might lower it to balance to get a few extra frames. Since we're at 1440p, it shouldn't be an issue. Any black artifact issues while watching YouTube video on Google Chrome? Yeah, I did. I had some weird artifacting things. I don't remember how I fixed it. I think I disabled G-Sync for Chrome or something like that. Yeah, something like that, if I remember correctly. Okay, this looks way better. Wow. But the grass didn't load yet for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what issue this game has with grass being loaded late. Let's give it a few seconds to load the grass. Come on, game, you got this. I'll drink water. Oh, never mind. There it is. There it is. It showed up. Hello from Indonesia. Hello from Uruguay, good sir. How's it going? Okay. There we go. Yeah, foliage takes forever to load when you first join the game for some reason. You see now there's sticks in the ground, there's more foliage, there's moss. Let's see what's... No, I cannot break that. So once the game actually finishes loading the assets, looks pretty good. Canada, you mean? Are you on an SSD? Yes, sir. SSD NVMe drive. I haven't put a game in a hard drive in a long time. So yeah, looking pretty good. Although I would say at 1440p, maybe balanced DLSS makes a bit more sense. Yeah. But this is not a game where I would target 60 FPS. Just because you can do it, But it looks so much worse when you drop it to balance that, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense. And I'm just collecting things right now. Oh, this is not an axe. I'm an idiot. Do you think SATA SSD is fine for new games? Yep. Should be completely fine. In the few games that the SATA SSD would make a difference, in a bad way, I mean, is the Ratchet & Clank game, Rift Apart, that one. When you open portals, it can take a longer period of time to load. It's just a bit distracting, not unplayable. And maybe in some sections of the Spider-Man games, when you're going through New York, in around the Manhattan area, what am I saying? Times Square area. But other than that, I haven't found... and maybe Star Citizen. I saw Alex from Digital Foundry showing Star Citizen. And if it wasn't on an NVMe drive, the game had some stuttering issues when you go into elevators. But let's be real, they're never going to finish Star Citizen. So that doesn't count. The worst enemy in the game are the boars. Without a doubt. They need to nerf those. Yeah, I mean, it's fine with the SSD, the SATA SSD, but you can definitely notice the difference. Or you're going to drown. No, he isn't. That's the worst enemy in the game, by far. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the grass thing is related to the storage in my computer, actually. Because even my PC with an i7-13700F, 1 terabyte, like 7 gigabyte per second SSD NVMe drive, and a 4070 Ti had the same issue. And this game is being hosted on a server that is not your computer. You can actually play offline as well. That's a great feature that they added. But the thing with the offline mode, it has some of that server logic is that in your computer locally, so it's a little bit more demanding. Stop it, Geralt. Oh, I'm weighted down by my inventory. That's why I couldn't jump or run. I'm an absolute moron. Oh, you meant Ratchet & Clank? Okay, gotcha. It's another UE5, but this one, I wouldn't call it a disaster, it's just incomplete. The one that I would call a disaster is Ark Survival Ascended. That one is a disaster. This one actually, you can actually manage to make it run okay with good visuals. So they actually made an effort on this one, in my opinion at least. I just wouldn't recommend it. If you have anything below a 2060, I wouldn't recommend the game. Just because the visuals on anything below the quality option is absolutely horrible looking. But it's not a game where I would target 60s just because, again, if you try to lower the settings anywhere close to balanced, the game looks bad. It just flickers all over the place. I'm reading the chat. So, as I was saying about the graphs not loading on time, it also happens if you host the game on your computer, so I think it's a thing with the game itself. Also, the draw distance of the small grass is not amazing, even on the highest settings. And if you don't put the lumen on ultra quality, these shadows look a bit pixelated on the smaller objects. But again, the tweaking options are there, at least. It's not like Arc or Immortals of Avium, that they just enable lumen, and if you don't like it, buy a 4090, basically. Oh no, I'm dead. Oh, okay. Of course, that's magic. Oh, cool building. Okay, so the buildings can fly. Gotcha. I thought it was a bug at the beginning. I mean, it's an option for lazy devs to use lumen and nanite, but actual good devs can use it in a good way. Especially, in my opinion, nanite is the most impressive option. It's nice to have global illumination and all that with lumen, but in my opinion, the most impressive thing is nanite. Just the level of detail of the objects is incredible. How that works. That was my biggest issue with games in the past. The LODs. But of course, the easier it is to add that to your game, the less they will optimize it, because it's just a switch. You just turn on RTX, it's on, like the Nvidia CEO said. So the easier it is to implement, the more people will misuse it just because laziness. And I get it, making games takes time, but still. That sucks. Yeah, I mean, modern devs, you can build the game like a Lego, and that's okay. The thing is, I mean, games are difficult to make, but at the same time, they could spend some extra money to polish them, instead of selling them buggy and incomplete. At least in some cases, like this game, they clearly say, hey guys, this game is on early access, we're adding features. Just remember this is early access, it's incomplete. Once it's complete, we'll let you know, but here's updates, and if you want to play the game now, go for it. Which is fine. I like that approach. I usually play early access when it starts, then I stop playing until version 1.0, because I get bored of the game before it's finished. So that's a big issue, in my opinion, with early access. I can get bored of the game before it's finished. Did you see the RTX RR ray tracing on vid on Star Wars Outlaws? There was almost no difference. Yeah, I saw it. I was quite disappointed as well. But, I mean, I'm ready to be disappointed nowadays when it comes to ray tracing implementations. We're not there yet. Okay, let's try 4K and we finish the live stream. I'm going to keep the same settings but put performance DLSS. It looks better than 1080p despite being internally 1080p. So, as I was saying with the Lego thing, that the games are made like Legos, yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, nowadays that you have those free engines, you can just grab it, learn a few things about game development, and you can build a game with assets that you purchase from the asset store or from the free thing. And you put it together like a Lego. It's a more difficult Lego to make, of course. The more you know, the better result you're going to get. But it's basically like Legos, yeah. That's a good way to see it. The thing is, you have less control over what's going on in the engine. So many things are done without knowing why. So when there's issues, good luck. It's hard to pinpoint what the problem is. But these guys seem to know what they're doing, in my opinion. Because if I tried to run another one of those early access UE5 games, I wouldn't be able to use these settings. And the grass is not loaded yet. Let me try if I can cheat with this. Yeah, I can cheat with it. I put, help me, I'm stuck. Step Unreal Engine 5. And they send me to my base. So I can actually cheat in this game. But see, grass in this section, I don't know why this section always has trouble loading the smaller objects. Yeah, I mean, manual optimization is always a thing I would focus on. The thing is, it takes more time. But it makes it easier if you want to build the games yourself. It takes less time to build games, which is the most important part. At least from how to say it, from a development standpoint, business standpoint, better said. It makes a lot more sense. I mean, if it takes 1/5 of the development time to build something, why would you spend more money to make it stable? People are going to buy it anyway. So yeah. Alright. So at 4K when it's rainy, it's actually pretty difficult. So let's put everything on balanced. And now the grass actually loaded. Freaking grass. Yeah, balanced preset. Let's see. Okay. Just barely holding 30s. But Lumen is on quality. That's the big performance hit actually, Lumen. But again, if you put Lumen on anything below quality, it looks bad. I mean, look at that. You get 8 extra frames, but at what cost? Everything. Everything. Yeah. Balanced lumen in this game is just not good enough, even at 4K. It just looks bad. No way around it. Yeah, definitely. Is this game supports Ryzen 3 3200G? I mean, you mean with the iGPU, the Vega 8? No, I don't think so. That's not powerful enough. I mean, you can run the game, maybe at 720 with upscaling, but the game will look horrible. I mean, your game will probably look something like this on your 3200G. It will be below 720p and it will look like this. So yeah, let me try to make it more clear. Yeah, I mean, it's clear enough actually. So on the 3200G, you probably will have, again, barely 30 at 720 with these visuals. So if you're in for that kind of stuff, you can do it, but it won't be pleasant. It will be pretty blurry actually. Yeah, once God of War Ragnarok comes out, I'm streaming it, of course. Same with Wukong and all that. Okay, I think I had enough for today. It's been a while. It's been almost 2 hours. It hasn't been that long actually. So what do I think about the game? Personally, as I said at the beginning, I'm not a fan of survival stuff. I played The Forest, I played Ark. I actually liked The Forest quite a bit. It was pretty entertaining. But then survival stuff I'm not, again, the biggest fan of. I usually avoid those games. And it's a classic, okay, we'll make a game very quickly and ship it on the new engine so it has good visuals. Well, on this one, it actually feels like they're making an effort. I mean, with the quality option, the game looks pretty good, performs pretty well considering it's UE5 with Lumen. Just don't put Lumen at anything below quality or the game is a flickery mess when it comes to the tree shadows, especially super distracting. But it has a good quality of life options. You can use third-person mode. Looks bad at the moment because it's experimental. You can disable camera shake. You can enable and disable motion blur. You have an arachnophobia mode, which good to have. FOV slider up to 110. Then also one thing in the audio that I like is reduced player breath sounds. This is awesome. I wish Tomb Raider had this, so Lara Croft doesn't moan every 5 seconds. And what else? And there's something I'm missing that I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, there's an offline mode that they added less than a month ago, which is a great option in my opinion that they added, so you can play offline. But there is a big disadvantage with this. It says, okay, your server-related functions will be handled on your PC, so it uses more resources. I noticed it uses more CPU and more RAM. Not a huge difference when it comes to that. But if you're playing on a Steam Deck, as an example, you lose like 5 frames. So it's nice to have this. I like it. It's a good option, but you cannot move your profile, your character from offline to online and vice versa. So if you're playing offline, your save will stay on your PC and you cannot upload it to the cloud. And you cannot later move your character to the other mode. So in my opinion, that's not good of the offline mode. They should be able to be interchangeable, the characters, from this to this. But I mean, if there's a technical reason for this, I understand. But it's nice to have it at least. It's there if you want to use the offline mode. It's basically solo play. And your PC is the server, so there you go. So yeah, that's what I think. Again, thanks to Inflexion Games for providing a code. Again, if you don't have an RTX 2060 or better, don't even try to play this game because Lumen Unbalanced looks horrible. I've been talking about this the entire stream, but that's just the way it is, at least in my opinion. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate that, and I hope I see you next time. Have you cleaned your Steam Deck from inside like fan? Yeah, on my LCD Steam Deck, I did that, yeah. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Yeah, your 4060 is more than enough for this game. Don't worry. Use the same settings that I used on the 3060 at 1080p. You can even use frame generation because it's a 40 series card. So yeah, go have fun if you're interested in survival games. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Love you all. Thank you.